Students, now we come on the fourth method to control the credit in the economy by the central bank of the country. This is the fourth method under the title of legal reserve requirements, or we could say legal reserve ratio. The component of this legal reserve ratio, its components. Point A is CRR, which we have already discussed. It is known as cash reserve ratio. Point B, second component of the legal reserve ratio is SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. Statutory liquidity ratio. We have already discussed about the CRR in detail. We had discussed through the example. Again, we come back on our example. Our example was, if our parents give us the pocket money for rupees 1000 at the condition, I'm just writing it like this, at the condition that 10% of that amount you will keep reserve with the parents. In such a manner, every commercial banks keep the reserves with that of the parent bank or with that of the central bank of the country. So you will have the amount to spend to meet your needs. It would be equal to only 900. It would be equal to only 900. And if they increase the percentage, suppose they changed the condition and they said, now you will keep the reserves equal to 20% of this amount. What would happen? Then you will have with yourselves to meet your needs only 800 rupees. Getting it? So the 10% of 1000 rupees, it's equal to, it would be equal to rupees 100 rupees. You will have to keep with your parents as a reserve, and 20% would be equal to rupees 200, which you will keep as a reserve with that of the central bank. Now these rupees 100 or these rupees 200, these are the cash reserve ratio. These would be called the cash reserve ratio in economics. Okay. And the amount which you are keeping with yourself to maintain your expenditure to meet your needs, this is 900 and 800. This is called the statutory liquidity ratio. So what is the SLR? So first we'll see CRR. See, how can we define the CRR? This is the minimum percentage of the net demand and time liabilities to be kept by commercial banks with the central bank. We have already written it perhaps in the previous video. Just go through that. Now we'll see how can we define SLR. SLR is the minimum percentage, minimum percentage of net demand and time liabilities, of net demand and time liabilities which commercial banks which commercial banks required to maintain with themselves. Got it? How do the commercial banks maintain the SLR? It may be in the form of the liquid assets, in the form of the excess reserves, unencumbered government and other approved securities, or current account balances with the other banks. So obviously, change in the SLR affects the freedom of the banks to sell government securities or borrow against them from the central bank. An increase in SLR reduces the ability of banks to give credit, and vice versa, as we have already discussed. Okay, if the percentage is increased, obviously the banks would be able to keep the lesser amount with themselves, and consequently it will lead to their less lending capacity. Okay, now next method to control the credit by the RBI. This is the margin requirements. I am going to clear this. This is the fifth method. Method number 5. This is margin requirements. What are the margin requirements, or how does the RBI or the central bank controls the money supply by this tool or by this method? So margin requirement is the difference in short, I'm writing it DI double F, please. Is the difference between the amount of loan, and the market value, of the securities offered by the borrower against the loan. In short, I'm writing this AGNST, against the loan amount. Okay, whatsoever the amount of the loan we want to take, okay, against the loan. Suppose, again we'll take one example here. Suppose any person A, I'm just writing this, person A this is person A, and person A applied for the loan of rupees 10 lakh. Okay. And against this loan, he offered the security, his assets, his own assets. It may be his house, his factory, his shop, whatsoever. Okay, his asset worth rupees worth rupees 10 lakh. Worth rupees 10 lakh. Now, suppose RBI has fixed the margin, or the central bank, RBI fixed margin of fixed margin of 40%. Suppose 40%. 40%. Okay. And we could see margin requirement is the difference between the amount of loan and the market value of the security offered by the borrower against the loan. So see, you could see against this loan for which person A has been applied for rupees 10 lakh. Okay. Margin has been fixed of 40%. So it means this person A will get only loan amount worth rupees 6 lakh only. 6 lakh only, because 40% margin would be kept by the commercial bank, because this is the percentage which has been fixed by the central bank of the country. Now suppose in the same way, suppose RBI fixed margin, suppose RBI fixed margin of 20% only, fixed margin of 20%, 20% only. Then person A will get loan amount worth rupees 8 lakh against his application for rupees 10 lakh. 8 lakh. Got it? Again, you could see the same condition. If the margin has been increased, if the margin has been increased, so it reduces the borrowing capacity and the money supply into the economy, and a fall in margin encourages the people to borrow more. Okay? If the margin has been increased, in this condition, the public would be discouraged to borrow from the commercial banks. In the same way, if the margin is less, then it will encourage the public to borrow more from the commercial banks. Margin is necessary because if a bank gives a loan equal to the full value of security, and bank will suffer a loss in case of fall in the price of the security. So margin requirement is always necessary by the central bank. Now next we come, some other methods are also there. What are some other instruments? We'll see. In the other instruments, we could see moral suasion and selective credit controls. Others. In the other methods, moral suasion, others. We'll write it in others. In others, number 1, it is known as the moral suasion. Moral suasion. Under moral suasion, it is exercised through the discussions, letters, speeches, and hints to the banks. The Reserve Bank frequently announces its policy position and urges the banks to cooperate in implementing its credit policies. Got it? Normally, what happens? Central bank succeeds in convincing the banks as it acts as their lender of the last resort. However, no punitive action is taken in case they do not follow the advice or the request. So this is the moral obligation by the moral suasion. The RBI, the central bank of the country, tries to create a moral obligation on the commercial banks. That they must be adhered with the policies of the central bank only, or with the policies of the RBI only. Next, we could say selective credit controls. Next, in the others, we could say selective credit controls. Under this, the RBI gives the directions to other banks to give or not to give credit for certain purposes to the particular sectors. Okay, this method can be applied in both either the negative or the positive manner. In positive manner, it means using measures to channelize credit to priority sectors. The priority sectors include the small scale industry, agriculture, exports, etc. In negative manner, it means using the measures to restrict flow of credit to the particular sector. So this is known as the selective credit control. So all these were the methods. How did the RBI control the money supply into the economy? Now, next we'll discuss the money multiplier. Now we come, this is very important, money multiplier. Now we'll discuss. How does it work?